The forensic examiner discovered fragments inside the fifth female victim that, when pieced together, formed a peach shape along with a peach pit. This behavior was viewed as a provocation against the police. The killer's pattern was obvious. He specifically targeted lone women on rainy days. His method involved first binding the victim's limbs, dragging them to the woods for assault, then strangling them with stockings or underwear, and finally placing panties over the victim's head. The first naked female corpse was discovered in a rice field drainage ditch. After the second girl was murdered, Officer Park found suspicious footprints that were subsequently destroyed by a tractor. Clues pointed to a mentally disabled man who had been pursuing the deceased. He frequently stalked the victim, making him highly suspicious. After Detective SEO from Seoul intervened in the investigation, he came into conflict with Officer Park. Officer Park used threats of lid burial to force the mentally disabled man to provide a vague account of the incident, which he recorded. However, Detective SEO discovered that the knots at the crime scene were complex. While the pursuer lacked sufficient hand strength, Detective SEO discovered that all victims wore red clothing and were killed on rainy days. Combined with missing person cases involving women in red, he found the third body, confirming this was a serial killing case. However, a woman from a neighboring village who had taken off her red clothes to lend an umbrella was still murdered, breaking the pattern of the killer specifically targeting women in red. Female officers discovered that the timing of the incidents coincided with romantic songs broadcast on red. While the police were on surveillance, they discovered a man molesting underwear and chased him to a factory, arresting the perverted man wearing floral panties. Officer Park forced a confession through coercion, but the confession didn't match the case details. Later, because the only survivor described the killer as having soft, delicate hands, while the perverted man had rough hands, his suspicion was ruled out. In a new case, a female corpse was abandoned by the riverside with peach slices inserted in her lower body. The female officers traced the song requesta to Park Hoon-gyu, and Detective SEO noticed his hands were delicate and soft. Park Hoon-gyu was a military veteran whose arrival time in the area coincided with the first case, and he admitted to requesting songs, but was released due to lack of evidence. Detective SEO re-listened to recordings and deduced that the mentally disabled man was a witness. After the man confessed, he was struck and killed by a train due to psychological trauma. While male bodily fluids detected by the forensic examiner were being sent to the United States for testing, the real killer abducted and murdered a female student who had previously provided clues, inserting a ballpoint pen and spoon into her lower body. Officer Park arrived with the DNA report, showing it didn't match Park Hoon-gyu. He was not the real killer, and the case became a cold case. 17 years later, Officer Park, now a businessman, passed by the rice fields. A young girl told him that not long ago, a man had been staring at this place, saying he was remembering things he had done